Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. Be sure to check me out over on Rumble. There you'll find all of my stuff from YouTube, plus my political and social commentary and weekly current events, which YouTube frowns on. Links to my Rumble channel as well as my other YouTube channels and links to let you order my books are in the description of this video. If you enjoy my content, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. Now, on with the video. Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing a Recon the role-playing game advice video. I'm titling it Brothers in Arms. But before I get into that video, I want to tell everybody that I really hope y'all had a great Christmas and a Happy New Year. I wish nothing but blessings on you. I hope you have a great year. In this new year. I also want to tell you about a book that I recently published. It's on Amazon. It's called The House Off Farrago Road. It's like I said, it's on Amazon. The author's name is H.L. Anderson. It's just a fun story about a house where the denizens are not quite normal. Mythological creatures and supernatural forces commingle with modern-day law enforcement and the criminal underworld. If the quirky weird piques your interest, check out The House Off Farrago Road. Available at Amazon. Okay, Brothers in Arms. As the mission director, your job is to create as realistic a game as possible and to make sure all of your players are having fun. The second part of that is easy in most games, including Recon. One of the hardest things in Recon is to run a realistic game. You can read stories and first-hand accounts, you can watch all of the Vietnam War movies in existence, but none of that can give you any idea of what it was like to actually be there. In the Air Force, I served with guys from all branches who had actually been in Vietnam. I have an old family friend who taught weapons training to the Marines in Vietnam. I talked extensively with all of them, and I cannot begin to explain the insanity that was Vietnam. Most war is insanity. Okay? I've said this a lot. Anybody who likes war is a moron. At the best, they're insane. At the worst, they're a moron. Nobody wants war. War is ugly and dirty and vicious and cruel. War should always, always, always be the last resort. That being said, we have a role-playing game where we get to play like we're in a war. So here we go. One thing I can speak to is the code of brotherhood military members develop when they serve together in foxholes. This brotherhood is like nothing anyone has experienced unless they've been to war and served with other men, and since there's no way to understand it, there's no way to put exactly that into your game. Here's something I did do in one of my longest running Recon games that approximated that feeling as best as I could. I used a bunch of different NPCs to foster a sense of loyalty in the group. There was a Lieutenant Green. He led the group. He looked out for them above and beyond the call, helped each and every player character on an individual basis, made sure they were looked after. He was their commanding officer in the field, but at the same time, he was like a big brother. He covered for them with the officers above them. He wasn't afraid to fudge a report here and there, just a little bit. I mean, nothing major, of course, but he did this instead, that kind of thing. He looked out for the characters. That fostered a sense of loyalty to them. There was Captain Watkins, the chief surgeon at the MASH unit, who made sure the guys got first-rate care and allowed them extra time for personal stuff at the risk of personal discipline. This guy risked his own cojones in order to help the guys out. He made sure the guys were taken care of. Okay? Sergeant Kimura was the supply sergeant who made sure that the guys had plenty of everything and extras that they asked for, even when it cost him in trades with other units. This guy traded with other units for needed supplies, and sometimes those trades got a few extras thrown in, and he made sure the guys got it. You see what I'm saying? He looked out for the people. He made sure everything was right. Lieutenant Graham was the chopper pilot who risked everything on evacuations. I mean, this guy landed. He defied orders to go in a hot landing zone to get the guys out. I mean, he did this time and time again. He was reprimanded. He had. I mean, his stack of reprimands had its own file, but he looked after the guys. That kind of thing. And there were others, but these were the main four. After the war, when the player characters became mercenaries, I sent them on a multitude of different missions for a variety of different employers. One by one, I mixed in the NPCs I inserted into the Vietnam game. Lieutenant Green, now Captain Green, had his kid kidnapped. The perpetrators wanted to force him to steal secrets for them, and the group helped him out there. All he had to do was ask, and the group dropped everything from Europe and came back to the States in order to help him. That's loyalty. I don't care who you are. That's loyalty. Because the mission that they were on, they had to sacrifice that mission and not do it, and it cost them something like $100,000 a piece in the 70s. That's a lot of money. Captain Watkins was framed for selling drugs from a civilian post that he was assigned to, and the group had to come in and play detective and figure out who was actually doing it. They did this without question. Sergeant Kimura became a long-haul truck driver hauling military loads. One shipment had been hijacked, and he was framed as the inside man. They had to do another investigative thing to figure out who did it, who the inside man actually was, and and clear the sergeant. Lieutenant Graham was delivering supplies to missionaries and was having problems with a local African warlord. The pilot had gotten captured, and as he landed, the mercenary, the warlord's guys rushed him and got him and dragged him out of the helicopter. Well, the guys had to go on a rescue mission to get him out of there, and they did this without thinking. They weren't getting paid for it. They just said, "Oh, he's in trouble. Let's go." That's the kind of loyalty that you want to develop in this game. The player characters had such loyalty to these men that they rushed to help them with no thought of compensation, no thought of the consequences. The players felt a need to help these NPCs because of a sense of loyalty. In lieu of the sense of brotherhood that I spoke of, I think that that's about as close as to it as that you're going to get in a role-playing game. That's the kind of loyalty you want to impress on these guys. If they can show that kind of loyalty to an NPC, imagine what they're going to show to each other. You see what I'm saying? Such loyalty takes time to develop. As a mission director, make sure you take that time. It's important. It's part of the game. If you're not doing it, you're depriving your players of that. And trust me, your players will thank you in the long run. I hope this finds everybody well. I hope this, I really hope everybody has fun playing Recon. And I hope I'm helping you out with these videos. You folks have a good one. God bless one and all. There is a house in New Orleans where the monsters all hang out. When the police detective, who happens to be a skinwalker squirrel, uncovers a plot by a paranormal perpetrator, he has to enlist the aid of his fellow housemates. If you enjoy a modern, quirky take on historical mythology, check out my new original novel, The House Off Farrago Road.